Goo goo gaga. Please like and subscribe.
Why the F must children be so loud, and why is society okay with it? My neighbors, who are also my landlords. I rent the granny flat on their property, so we share the property, every weekend babysit their grandkids. It's summer now, which means the pool gets used every weekend. They're all currently outside with both grandkids in the pool, shrieking, screaming, yelling, laughing. Someone has a horn. There's some loud toy being used. The kids don't know how to talk at an appropriate level. I'm losing my mind. This is every weekend. The time I should be able to enjoy out of work. I have to listen to these little shits. And it's awful because the pool is right next to my apartment, right outside my window. I hear everything. Yet if I complain I get the whole "oh, they're just being kids. Kids are noisy." Why is society okay with this? If one of the other neighbors was blasting loud music, wait. I could be that neighbor. Excuse me while I go find the filthiest music I can blast. A little rap, anyone?
I have 2 words for you. Mosquito alarm.
Apparently, near as I can tell, society and the average person is okay with it because it means that the boisterous little bacteria bags are happy. And no one wants them to not be happy. Because maybe they'll wish you into the cornfield. Anyway, I came to this realization 15 years or so ago. Working near the end of my shift in a small local cooperative. I was tired and trying to tune out the constant shrill screeching of a maybe 4-year-old girl. Her delightfully clueless, happy hippie parents seemed to have no idea it might be bothering anyone. And they actually seemed to be encouraging her, as her caterwauling echoed through the building. Finally, out of patience, I muttered something about how painfully annoying it was to another customer, who I was acquainted with, who responded, "Well, at least she's happy." I was gobsmacked. Sure, okay, but why can't she be more quietly happy? Anyway, just my theory. I actually fell down a rabbit hole about this a few weeks ago, and a few articles about it were kind of interesting. Basically, they don't understand that they're being loud and they haven't learned to regulate their emotions. One paper compared it to when a dog gets really happy and excited and starts barking. The thought process is, I am happy. I want others to know I am happy, because they're still learning that you can express happiness in non-vocal ways. The younger children are closer than when they were infants. And human babies only have one way to get attention. Scream. That's it. They can't tell you if they're too cold or hot or hungry or tired or hurt because they don't have the language capabilities. So now they're still kind of used to that idea that volume will get them attention. And they have to be taught that they have language capabilities now. And they don't need to scream. There's also the physical aspect that they genuinely have not learned how to be able to consistently regulate their volume. To be honest, I still have to catch myself if I get too loud when I'm talking about stuff I'm interested in, because ADHD can make it easier to forget that I need to consciously make sure I'm not talking too loudly. There are also some theories about the evolutionary advantage. Kids do not stay still. It's impossible to keep an eye on them at every single moment, especially if you're doing something like gathering food. So loud helps with parents knowing where the child is.
I actually just came here to make a similar post. I live in an inner city townhouse complex in a major city in Australia, and I am dealing with a similar thing, except it's every day. I have new neighbors whose backyard is adjacent to the side wall of my 2-story townhouse. As in, the side wall of my townhouse, including frosted windows, is the back wall of their backyard. Previously, an elderly couple lived there, but a few months ago they sold it to a couple with 2 kids. There are an 8-year-old and a toddler. And it has ruined my life. I constantly have balls hitting the side of my house. Their toddler bangs on my windows and presses her face against the glass. My boyfriend has been over there numerous times asking them not to do this, but today, It appears they're having a party of some sorts. And now I have 6 kids banging on the side of my house. Not only this, but this kid also likes to go outside and yell and scream at 6:30 in the morning on most days. This complex was entirely young childless couples, or elderly people until they moved in. And it was great to begin with. But now I hate it because I have to deal with this 8-year-old shizhead screaming his head off every day and kicking balls into my wall. I asked my real estate agent to complain to the owners, but they told me to do it myself. So today I wrote a lengthy email explaining my situation. I re-signed my lease just before they moved in, and now I am stuck here until next October dealing with this shiz. I hate this situation. I feel your pain, OP.
I know a lot of people believe that they can't stop their kids from being loud. Something about kids are just naturally noisy, and they can't control that. However, they can do something about it. It's called basic effing parenting. They can control how loud their kids are by doing their job as parents. And teaching them to be quiet when they play. Also, do you know how many kids were kidnapped and people heard the screaming? But they assumed they're playing. Kids got nabbed, they screamed like hell and were ignored because they scream like that all the time. Kids should be taught to scream when they're in danger or when a stranger tries to grab them.
I want my cheesy puffs.
What's the dumbest thing someone has said to you after you told them you don't want kids? For me, it's probably what someone said to me yesterday. Well, you wouldn't be here right now if your mother didn't have you. Like, what?
Bingo.
You'll change your mind once you hit your 30s. I was 38. The person assumed I had to be young because I had no kids yet.
My father, I'm male by the way, said, having a kid isn't about you, it's about me, while yelling it. That really pissed me off.
You're letting your womb go to waste. Yuck. Gross.
Bingo.
I never knew love until I had Bradley. You never knew this type of love. There's a big difference and I still don't care. I feel so sorry for you. You're feeling sorry for what? All of my free time and expendable income. This coming from a woman whose 2 daughters weren't even speaking to her at that time. And I was finally starting to understand why. Honestly, out of all of the comments I've gotten, the old, "What if everyone thought like you?" still manages to irritate me the most. I'm not asking everyone be child-free. I would love if people would put as much thought in bringing a child into their home as they do a pet. But I'm not lobbying to get that made into a law. We've already seen what happens when everyone decides to have children. There are way too many people. Not only can we not take care of them all, but we've lost sight of the value of human life and refuse to even attempt to care for all of the people on this planet. There are homeless children. There are children who are corrupted. There are children stuck in abusive homes because we, as a society, refuse to do better. Our school systems are broken, our healthcare is broken, and our workforce are broken.
Bingo.
But you'd make such a great mom. When they are just a coworker who knows nothing about me outside of work. Like. It's bold of you to assume that. You'll change your mind after you meet the right man. No. Meeting a man has nothing to do with it.
My dad just laughed into my face. Because clearly a 20-years-old dude can't possibly know what the F he's talking about when I'm making life decisions.
Bingo.
What do you mean? I bet they'd come out with cool hair like yours. Girl, you're a nurse and we both know this bright ocean blue hair is not hereditary.
Well, how would you know if you don't have one? You'll change your mind? Oh, really? I will now. Wow. The insight.
What if your mom felt that way about you? Has to be the stupidest I've heard because they think it's some super clever knockout punch. What does your husband think about that? Is another one from people still living in the Stone Age. But there are people that want kids and can't. That's not my problem, Sharon.
Bingo.
There was a group of adults at my friend's birthday party when I was in high school. And I said that I was never getting married and not having kids, and the whole bunch of them laughed at me and said I'd change my mind. Well, here I am 37 and I'm single and child-free, so, F them. Your partner won't be happy coming home just to you. Your partner will only be happy when there are children. No, I think your significant other doesn't love you. Also, I'm not getting married.
Oh, but I bet your mom wants grandbabies. She can want them all the livelong day, Mira, but she ain't getting any from me.
You're too young to decide not to have kids. But if you wanted them right now, you could. To this day, I still can't comprehend that statement.
Bingo.
It's interesting to see the wounds people take on because of our decisions that don't affect them. Any response is at least passive-aggressive, if not an attempted insult. The only time it bothers me is when a medical professional says, "You'll change your mind." Oh really? So that medical degree gives you the ability to read minds? I wouldn't be as pissed if they didn't try to make the conversation stop at, "Hey, I don't, and have never wanted kids." It's never, "Why do you want that?" followed by giving them as many or few reasons as you want to request surgery or sterilization. I'm at a point where I'm looking into my options, legally speaking. I'm tired of being patronized. I'm in my 30s, my mind has never changed. Even if I did, I can't afford to raise children. I've come to accept that even the female doctors are as bad as the male ones. I might as well get a lawyer to protect myself. You'll have them. You will want them. I didn't want them in the beginning, and now with the two I have, I can't imagine life without them. I know people that made a retroactive decision and they regret it so much. You'll have them. This was my sister-in-law's response 2 years ago after I told her I don't want kids. And I'd make a retroactive decision if I became with child. I responded to her that I'm 38. She said, "Oh, I thought you were younger than that, but you never know." Nope. It's not happening. It will. Glad that my sister-in-law lives out of state.
This was actually after saying I didn't have kids. You should give it a try.
Bingo.
My father said to me, "What else are you good for?" I have a master's degree. And I have almost completed my doctorate. I'm good for so much more than throwing my life away. Someone said I'd be a good mom. And I couldn't stop effing laughing. What my father said when I announced that I was getting sterilized. What if your future husband wants kids? As if my body is just an incubator on legs. Like F off, I didn't ask for this existence, let alone being born a person in this sick society. It's okay, honey. You don't need to be jealous. You'll be a great mother when you're older. My grandma said this to 13-year-old me while stating that I don't like babies after I was forced into a church nursery. Bingo.
It's your duty as a human to populate the world. I think there are already plenty of us.
Then what's the point in getting married? I hope you never have kids. Said insultingly. Thanks. I think when someone used it as an insult, like "I hope you never have kids." With the context being because I'm a bad person for not wanting kids. Then it would probably be my coworker who was really worried that I'd go to hell because of it. She's very sheltered, and she didn't understand the concept of atheism either. The last one I can think of is people on Reddit telling me that I'm not allowed to have sex with my partner because I don't want kids. Like they think I'm going to be like, "Hey honey, we can't have sex anymore because this random person whom I've never met nor know in any capacity said so."
Bingo.
Some person said, "You don't have a choice." I was very creeped out. What happens if you fall in love with someone who wants kids? You wouldn't even have kids for this other person. I'd break up or get a divorce because our wants and needs are fundamentally incompatible. Another stupid question. But, without kids, marriage gets boring. Roll eyes.
But every person has a parental instinct. If you take care of your dog, you could take care of a baby. Dumb question.
Would you ever consider being a surrogate? What if you meet the perfect person who wants kids? If there is the perfect person for me, then that individual won't want kids. Shut up. Well, I hope your IUD fails. Thanks, Mom. You're not whole until you have a partner and a child. Yeah, whatever, Grandpa. I make triple your income when you were my age with inflation. Plus, I'm not spending anything on diapers.
Please like and subscribe.